What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of Maybe It's Glazing, but I don't care. As always, I am your host, Zach Cronin, and today in this episode, how did I fuck up this intro that I've been doing for however many videos? What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of Maybe It's Glazing, but I don't care. As always, I am your host, Zach Cronin, and today we are going to be talking about LeBron James. I have only talked about LeBron one time this season so far. It was a couple of weeks ago after he had met Steph Curry and the Warriors on ABC, not the most recent time, but the one before that one. And that wasn't even really about LeBron. It was mostly about what Steph and LeBron together mean for the NBA. But this is going to be a LeBron centric video. And it's strange to have not really mentioned LeBron on this channel this season, considering everything he's done, eclipsing 40,000 career points, how he is still a top 10 player in the NBA despite being 107 years old. And the reason I haven't really talked about LeBron is that the Lakers have been very this year, and I just haven't really wanted to talk about them. Additionally, with them being the Lakers and with him being LeBron James, there are people who have already said everything about him. Hold on one second while I fucking sneeze. If I sound a little nasally, I apologize. I'm getting over some sort of cold allergy attack, whatever. But I wanted to talk about LeBron because him and JJ Redick just recently launched the Mind of the Game podcast. I'm recording this on Tuesday. I listened to the first episode on Tuesday morning while I had breakfast, and it's phenomenal. I don't have that I listen to regularly. This is going to be one of them, and they didn't even get into anything nerdy in this episode. They talked about the Clippers game LeBron did when they were discussing like basic sets. And he said that when he was leading this fourth quarter comeback against the Clippers, the Lakers ran the same play two times in a row, and the Clippers failed to defend it two times in a row. And that made me think, like, okay, yeah, let me go back and watch this. But before that, LeBron this past Saturday scored like 14 or 15 points in the fourth quarter against the Warriors, despite the fact that the Lakers lost that game. It really does not make any sense what he's doing this season. You can talk about pointless longevity all you want. Granted, I haven't really seen much commentary in the way of that this season. But the fact of the matter remains is that LeBron is 39 years old in his 21st NBA season, has played like more than 40,000 minutes, or it's got to be more than like 40,000 minutes. He's played however many tens of thousands of minutes. He's played like 1,400 career games, and he's still able to take over in the fourth quarter. Over the last 10 games at the time of this recording, the league leader in points scored in the fourth quarter is LeBron. It goes LeBron, 83, DeMar DeRozan, 81, Anthony Edwards, 71, and then DeJounte Murray at 70. That is the top four, but he's scored 83 points on 60% shooting over the last 10 games, 9 of which he's played in. I just want to go back to this Clippers game and take a look at what he did in the fourth quarter because we're getting vintage LeBron, like 10 years from prime LeBron. Like we're getting prime LeBron 10 years later. We've gotten prime LeBron twice. It's also doubly mind-blowing to me, and I apologize, I'm yapping here, but LeBron has been in the league for so long that there are like three different generations of fans that he has. There's people like me in their late 20s who first started watching him when he had his first stint in Cleveland and then went to Miami. The second generation is him back in Cleveland and when he won that first title. And there's the third, the youngest generation that only knows LeBron as a Laker. And all three of these generations of fans can talk about prime LeBron in the same way. Granted, there are little differences in his game. Like when I first started watching LeBron, he was nowhere near as polished as a scorer. He had no jump shot to speak of when he was in Cleveland. His post game was rudimentary at best. He was still a exceptional passer and electrifying athlete, but there were a lot of questions and almost like it's weird to say, but there was also a lot of rawness to his game, and he was still averaging 25, 26, 27 points on 50% shooting. But whatever, 5 minutes of yapping. We're going to go ahead. We're going to break this down. Lakers are running in semi-transition here. This is an easy pitch and catch from D'Angelo Russell to LeBron. Really, nobody picked him up before he got sat. Norman Powell comes over to contest, but all you need is a little pump fake, and it's a wide open three. I've said it however many times in these breakdowns, you cannot give elite players these kinds of threes. Now, I believe this is where LeBron started mentioning the two horn sets that the Lakers ran that the Clippers failed to defend. So you have D'Angelo Russell. You can't really see it, but LeBron was over here on it would be the right side elbow. D'Lo dribbles over to him, doesn't pass, but LeBron slips out off of this flare screen by Jackson Hayes. No one fights over. I mean, PJ Tucker fights over the screen, but not enough. And then they come back and they run this same exact play. Here's the instant replay of it. But he mentioned this specifically in the podcast with JJ Redick about how, I don't know if it's the standard to run horns this way. Obviously, you can run horns however you like, but the Lakers seemingly run it this way. You get D'Angelo Russell going right, allows LeBron James to flare out to the left, which also allows D'Lo to make that pass with his dominant hand. No, so okay, so this highlight, I'm watching this on the NBA's YouTube channel. I guess they skip the second basket because LeBron mentioned after he made those two threes, or maybe the first three was that, and I just missed it. LeBron mentioned that after he made those first two threes, he's running down. He's like, I'm going to heat check this motherfucker. And this was that heat check, which, of course, he made. If we just, go back to it. Yeah, usually I do these breakdowns on NBA.com, so I have a lot finer control over the going back and forth, but it's whatever. We'll deal with it. I mean, like 39-year-old LeBron just walking into a three. And no disrespect to PJ Tucker, but he's in no position to be able to defend LeBron at this stage. That beginning of the fourth quarter was extra crucial for the Lakers because Kawhi Leonard was on the bench. Kawhi, as we know, has given LeBron fits throughout his entire career, even back when he was prime LeBron with Miami. You'll see later on the Lakers exploit every possession where Kawhi isn't matched up on LeBron. So here we get a little poke away from D'Angelo Russell. The Lakers are out in transition. LeBron just draws two, kicks to D'Lo. One thing that I've really noticed about D'Angelo Russell is that he's gotten so much better at the high catch and shoot. This is not in what you would call the shooter's pocket, but it's in D'Angelo Russell's shooting pocket. Like, he's catching this ball, that's a high release. That's a high catch right there. It's above his chest. It's like chin level. But all good spot up shooters have mastered this because he's getting this shot off and it is uncontested. Even though there's a defender right here, this is effectively an uncontested three. And he does this again later on in the game as well. So another turnover here by the Clippers. Norm on LeBron. This is classic LeBron. When I see these kinds of plays, I know LeBron has lost a step athletically because it's just the natural decline of any athlete, regardless of the sport they play. They're not going to be as explosive, as fast, as strong as they once were. But he still has physical mismatches, regardless of how old he is, unless he's like 80. He's still bigger and stronger than Norman Powell, and he is still quicker than Mason Plumlee. So all he does is, you can also see that Norman Powell's feet are not completely aligned. All it takes is that one little hesitation by LeBron. He lowers himself. He puts his shoulder into Norm's chest to protect the ball on the drive. Absorbs the contact by Plumlee. Actually, very good, very solid defense from Plumlee on the perimeter there. But if you've been watching LeBron for as long as I have, those fadeaway shots are in his bag now. It's something that he's learned because even though he's a big guy, he's never going to be the biggest guy on the floor. And when you get bumped by those big dudes in the paint, you just got to take a fadeaway sometimes. Like, that is something that young LeBron did not have. It wasn't until probably around the time he was in Miami that he developed that fadeaway. I don't know how the Clippers, this is really poor defensive effort by the Clippers. It's effectively a 5-on-3 right now. You have two guys, LeBron and Taurean Prince haven't, that's not Taurean Prince, I'm sorry. That's Cam Reddish, I believe. You have LeBron and Cam Reddish who aren't even over half court, and somehow LeBron gets open. Kawhi does not need to be overextending on D'Angelo Russell here. He should be picking up LeBron a little farther out. This dude's hit 3 or 4 threes already. Yeah, that's not a very good possession defensively by the Clippers there. Back to exploiting the mismatch. This time it is LeBron James, or it is James Harden matched up on LeBron. I'm not so sure how the Lakers got the Clippers into this because it's only the last 5 seconds of the possession. Well, Kawhi is over here on Cam Reddish. Norman Powell is over here in the corner. LeBron's going to beat Harden here because Harden is not that great of a defender. Actually, good contest by Daniel Theis as well. Forces LeBron into the miss, but gets his own rebound, goes up strong with the left hand. Just a little extra effort as well. And again, LeBron is doing this at 39 years old. Very clearly the best player in this game at 39, taking over the game in the same way that he did when he was younger. I think after I'm done watching this video, I'm gonna go to NBA.com and see if they have the lengthier clips because I need to see how the Lakers wind up in this defense. I'm sure there was a pick and roll somewhere that the Lakers sought out this mismatch because LeBron and JJ in their podcast talked about how the NBA nowadays is all about exploiting mismatches. At least I think that's what they were talking about. I did kind of zone out for a moment there. But yeah, the modern NBA is all about exploiting mismatches and trying to get the most beneficial matchup for the offense. The most beneficial matchup is really anyone that's not Kawhi Leonard or Paul George, who's not playing in this game, on LeBron. Here we have Daniel Theis. I could criticize Theis's effort here, but it would be a little, I'm not going to lie, it would be a little disingenuous of me just knowing that, Theis is not equipped to really defend LeBron. The only guy who could do that right now is Kawhi. But you have this little sidestep that allows LeBron to create just enough space on the three. And this is one of those moves that it took a long time for him to add. But when he added it, it allowed him to become an entirely different player. This iteration of LeBron, the Lakers iteration of LeBron, is almost like it's almost the perfect version of him. You have the robust scoring repertoire, the insane passing, the otherworldly basketball IQ. Really, the only thing it's missing is LeBron's defense when he was with the Heat, when he was like runner up for Defensive Player of the Year to Tyson Chandler, I believe it was. Other than that, like this is almost the perfect basketball player. Yeah, I definitely got to go to NBA.com and see because I remember watching this play. D'Angelo Russell starts the possession here. This is like with 10 seconds on the shot clock, I think. D'Lo obviously guarded by Kawhi. LeBron sends D'Lo to the opposite corner, so that way there's no chance that Kawhi switches onto him. If LeBron starts this drive with D'Lo with D'Lo right next to him, it's shit spacing, and it's going to allow for some kind of switch. So instead, LeBron sends D'Angelo Russell through the opposite side of the floor, is playing one-on-one with Norman Powell, makes James Harden decide what to do. Harden overextends, and it's an uncontested three for Rui Hachimura. Clippers switching things once again. Beautiful, absolutely spectacular pass. What happens here is the double team comes to LeBron. Kawhi slides up to Reeves to take away the next closest pass. LeBron launches the skip pass to D'Angelo Russell. Again, high, because he knows that D'Lo has to just catch it and shoot because Theis, although he is a decent bit away from D'Angelo Russell, is going to be able to cover a lot of ground while the ball is in the air. And D'Lo needs to get the cleanest look possible. So I found one of them, the one where D'Lo goes through on the cuts off of this offensive rebound right here. Very simple. Pass to the middle. So the Lakers reset. They have 10 seconds left on the shot clock. They don't have to go right away, but something has to happen quick. The matchup, as I said before, Norman Powell on LeBron, Kawhi Leonard on D'Angelo Russell. LeBron, knowing that he does not want to wind up on Kawhi Leonard, or he does not want Kawhi Leonard to wind up onto him, tells D'Angelo Russell to slide through. Kawhi obviously follows. Kawhi follows, pardon me. Kawhi follows. LeBron attacks the lead foot of Powell here. Something I always talk about is if you're trying to beat your man off the dribble one-on-one, attacking the high foot is the easiest way to do it. Powell also, I guess, is trying to lead LeBron into this double team, but he's not shading him enough. So Norman Powell doesn't get blown by, but gets beat, which opens up this Hachimura 3. I'm not trying to overstate what LeBron is doing here because he's doing LeBron things. He's playing how every great player in the NBA plays, but the difference is that he's doing it at 39 years old. That's the point that I think needs to be hammered home. He should not be averaging his career averages at this age. Anyone who's ever played as long as him has seen a drastic fall off. Kareem, Jordan, they were still good players at their age, but far from the perpetually dominant guys that they were in the primes of their career. I mean, I heard someone say that Michael Jordan was playing for the Wizards just to sell tickets. Vince Carter, guy averaged like 6 points per game in his final season. It is truly remarkable that LeBron is not only still playing at a high level, but able to take over games when the Lakers need him to at 39 years old. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and close this video. I thank you guys so very much for coming to hang out with me today. As always, everything that I'm associated with is down in the description box below. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Drop a comment as well. It really helps out with the algorithm. And with that, I will catch y'all in the next one.